I can stay in Zoom, but Zoom has an API, an application program interface, where I can go from Zoom to YouTube. So I can go from Zoom to YouTube. And let me just do this. And I say, got it. And if I want to share my screen, right, that if I look here, then Alexandra, do you see yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you're looking good. That's why I want everybody to look good, right? Because theoretically, everyone in the world could be looking at us. The question is, notice here I'm using my hand and we're doing it. Is this, see how I use my hands here? Are my hands moving in this, Alexandra? And then you see yourself there on the YouTube, right? That you see. So what is it? It's lag. So Anders, this is lagged. Why is this lagged? The YouTube is not what you're seeing me live in. It's a little bit lagged. Why is that, you think?
Because there's a delay.
Well, I know there's a delay, but why?
Like the processing time.
It's basically what? When we log in through Blackboard, right? We log into Zoom. First of all, we're logging into the Blackboard server. Then we're logging into Zoom. The server for Blackboard is different than the server for Zoom. Once we log into Zoom, what's happening? Zoom has an API. What's an API stand for, Anders? Is an application program interface. So Zoom and YouTube are connecting together. So it has to hop to YouTube's server and it has to make the connection. So based on that, there's going to be a lag. For us, for my lectures and for you doing a presentation, does it matter that people see it 15 or 20 or 30 seconds after? Significantly. What do you think, Anders?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's a latency, like you want to stay up to date with
Yeah,
your
it's a
audience.
latency. It may not matter. You know, when we're talking facts, just to watch it, it may not be. Have you ever even seen it? Sometimes you'll see that lag even when people are overseas, like in wartime, and then like on TV, like on CNN, you'll hear the anchor asking somebody a question, and you'll see like there's like a 10-second delay before they'll answer it. It's almost those delays. Doing my regular lecture, I don't think it's going to be that much difference, you know, where they'll hear us 10 seconds later. But what's your major, Anders?
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship. But let's say we're doing entrepreneurship, and let's say we're going to have someone that I'm going to invite that's a high frequency trader and has a trading strategy, and we want to follow that person. And high frequency means as you blink your eyes and you basically, you can then, let's say, buy a stock, and it basically they buy and sell in less than a second or in 5 seconds. Would then, if somebody was listening to that person and wanted to follow them, that 15-second or 30-second delay would be significant. So sometimes we got to think about, that's why traders, let's say in the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, having, what they do, Anders, is they put their server right in the New York Stock Exchange. They put it in the building right there, or they'll put their server right there in NASDAQ exchange, because that 10th of a second is crucial for them to make or lose money. But for us, we're not making or losing money by our talks here. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody saw that. Okay? And Emily, it's the same thing. You're kind of, we want you to be big, not small. Okay, so we have that. All right. So then what I want to do is I also want to record locally on my computer as well. So I'm going to make sure that and sometimes it's called record on premise. Okay, any questions before anyone new to the class? Everybody's my regular people. Okay. Bianca has her couch there. Okay, so let's go. I need to have then volunteers to moderate the chat. Any volunteers I have in the class for class
I can do it.
participation? Okay, Emily, you want to moderate the chat? Who else? Anyone else want to moderate? Anyone else want to volunteer? Just to look
I
at the
can
chat, let
also
me know.
monitor the chat.
Okay, Emily, thank you. So let me know if there's something, stop me at the appropriate times to let me know that this is not clear to someone, that we can go about doing it. Okay, so we're ready to go. Everybody ready? Let's see. Let's get going. So I've promoted Amelie and Anders for it, and let's see where we go for there. So first thing is I want to share my screen. And let me just show you what else I want to do. I want to go to a program called Loom. Everybody see Loom? Loom. That also will record, and I can use my camera. I can't. You can write that down. This is kind of an interesting program. Later on, we'll be basically figuring out ways that you can also record, you can edit, you can send clips. So I'm going to start recording on Loom too. Let's see if it works. And he almost gives me skip 1, 2, 3, ready, set. And it even gives me a timer here. And you can see I can do a number of different, it's a nice program too. I like it a lot. Okay, so I'm doing that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to everybody do this with me, go to your regular section. So I'm going to go to my regular section. So I should have BTE210-J, Fundamentals of Business Technology, right? Emily, you have that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, you have another course that you got. Everybody look at your Blackboard. Was there another course that was put in of BTE210? Do you all have BTE210-J audit? Emily, let me know. Jordan, did you look? You got it, the audit too? And Andres, you got the audit?
Yeah,
And
I have it.
you got the audit too?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, great. We're going to go into the audit and we're going to talk about already what I call we're eating our own dog food. All this technology, when we're eating all of this, it's one is that we can read it in theory. There's another thing of actually hands-on doing things. So in order to have hands-on doing things, I need to upgrade your roles. You remember I talked about two things before, Emily. I talked about roles that are assigned to people in information systems is based on what? Their need to know. You remember I said that, Emily? Does that come back to you?
Yeah, I remember.
That need to know is, I said, you don't need to know. I need to know your grade. You need to know your grade. I need to know all my student grades, but you have no business knowing other students' grades, right? You don't need to know that to excel in this class. You may need to know the average or something to see how you rate compared to other students, right? But you don't need to know individually what other people are doing. So I'm going to be giving you the option. So let's go first to BTE210-J, our regular section. And in our regular section, let me just move this a bit. You see all this stuff here gets in my way here that we can. Let me just move it. all the way down here so we can see it. And we know that we've had the syllabus. We'll do attendance at the end at my Zoom meetings, and I'll look at what's due. And I see, let me just make this off so I see the exact same things you see, is I see that this Wednesday, I've delayed it a bit because people are having issues, that we have our chapter 1, our adaptive assignments, our Wiley quizzes, and registry. And if I go to my adaptive assignments that we did before, I've added something new, Emily. And you see here where I've added Wiley plus course resources.
Yeah.
I've made that hidden before. I've added it. And what people were asking me, and conscientious students as well, is saying, you know, there's so much information here, and even in the readings, is how do I need practice. So I said that we have the adaptive practice that we do, and we also have the Wiley quizzes. If you go to Wiley Plus courses, everybody go there. Which view am I looking at, Emily?
Instructor view.
Do you have it? If you clicked on courses, do you have instructor resources? I bet you do not, right?
No.
No. So why don't I do this? I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to have you share your screen. And of course, that's going to be one of the things. Everybody needs to know how to share their screen. Everybody needs to know how to record to the cloud. Everybody needs to be able to know how to do polls, how to do quizzes. We'll be doing that. So are you sharing your screen?
It's saying it's locked. Hold 1 second.
Okay,
It's saying to open system preferences. I don't.
okay, so we got to do that.
Okay,
right?
wait. Yeah. Okay, I think
Right,
I
and
got
everybody
it.
should try it themselves. If you're going to see it under system preferences, we
Okay.
need to
Oh,
make
I got it.
perfect.
Okay.
So you
This is
see
looking good.
here, that's why it's important for you guys to do, because when I share, I don't see that. You see course resources. Now you see the word practice on the top. Emily, click on that and click on, for instance, information systems. Click on that. And you see here, you have some more practice questions. So if we click on, go to number 1, and it says, for instance, which of the following is an IT job within an organization? So basically, they're talking about IT jobs. We'll talk about it later. Is basically, do we even have at the University of Miami? Do we have a CIO, a chief information officer? We'll be able to check on that. A network manager, a systems analyst, a project manager. So what do you think the correct answer is then in this case, Emily? Which is what? Just choose one of them. It's okay.
Probably all of them.
Okay, so click on it. We'll see. We weren't born with this. Submit answer, and it says I'm correct. So it gives you, so you can go each time, you can give your reset questions. You can go through all the questions. So you have that, you get immediate feedback, and you don't have to worry about it. So these are other ways that I'm letting you know that you can do that. Okay? So you'll be able to do it if you go back to the content, right? Back to that content tab on the top. Right, on the content tab, you go to Wiley Plus resources. You have that for each chapter that we're going through. So it's another place in which you can see that. The next one we're going to do it, you'll see those. And notice in this case, just stop right there. Notice in this case, you have BTE-J in the corner. I love it. And then you have BTE-J Audit Fundamentals. Now I'm going to stop sharing. So everybody should have both of those. If you do not have both of those, you need to put it in the chat that you do not have the audit. So those that are now viewing my chat, make sure that everyone has then the audit, because you're going to need that for today. So if I have this and now I share my screen, and we talked about the roles, right? And I have my courses that I have my business technology. I can see, if you look all the way down, everybody see users and groups on Blackboard? You see that, Amelie? On the left-hand side of
Looking.
Blackboard, in the front, it says users and groups. Do you see that, Amelie?
I do not.
Why not? Are you
I'm
under
not
where it
sure.
says BTE210-J fundamentals under announcements?
I also don't have it.
Why not?
Yeah, it shows it for me on the audit, but not on the J.
Oh, it shows you on the
And
audit.
I am not on the audit either.
Why?
Me neither.
Right. I have it here. In the audit, you have it. In the J, you don't. So what conclusion? Who said that? Who told me that?
Me.
Who's me?
Kareem.
Kareem. Great. Excellent. So Kareem, let's do a jump up. And why do you think that's the case? Let me show you my users and let me see. I'm going to click users on my end, not on my regular one, right? And I'm going to go to the very end and I'm going to say show all, and it says 43. Excellent, Kareem. And now I'm going to go through it and notice there's a Daniel Flores. He's a teaching assistant. I'm going down and there's a Sarah Rushanek. You see her, and what's she? Kareem?
Instructor. Yeah, I was
Instructor.
just looking at it too.
Right? So these are basically what? Roles. And if I look at yours, Kareem, right? I see that. What role are you?
Teaching assistant.
No, in the regular one. Look at my screen.
Oh, on yours, yeah, student.
Student,
But on mine, it shows teaching assistant.
because that's another course.
Oh, okay.
Right? So what did I do? I made a duplicate where, what have I done? I've upgraded you already. You can let your whole family know that you're already a teaching assistant, right? In BTE, you can even show proof. You can take screenshots, right? That you're a teaching assistant. Why? Because in my course, can you add additional items into the regular one? No. Can you delete certain items? No. All you can do is you can maybe upload your own work. What we want to do is we want to try to do more than just be students. We really want to have to see what it is to have all roles. So excellent. You see the difference between the two roles? So tonight, what we're going to do is we'll go into the audit section and we'll already start making options where you have more capabilities. So you can see, just so you know, one person's a teaching assistant here, and I have myself, and I have another person who's a teaching assistant, and then I have myself as instructor. The only difference between a teaching assistant, Kareem, and an instructor is you cannot delete me from the course. But you have all the rights in that other section to do exactly what I do. So, Kareem, what is great is you have all those you have all those capabilities, but along with it, there could be some downside, because if you submit work in that other section, Kareem, can someone delete your work?
No,
think?
no.
If they're a
But
teaching
now,
assistant.
if I change, because I can see that I can change stuff in the audit, like rename the link or hide it.
Right. And then somebody else can rename it. Somebody, if you submit something, somebody can delete that.
Does it change for everyone on the
Yeah,
audit?
the last person that did it.
Okay, cool.
You understand? So it's great. If you had somebody nefarious, that's the whole idea with roles, right? That's the whole idea with hacking and so forth. People are doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. You know, the whole idea of duo and all these things. Universities getting hacked almost every day. Hundreds of times they're trying to hack in. Why? Because there are all these students here. And guess what? If I hack in, Kareem, into your computer that you're on the network, I can take your computer without you knowing it, and your computer can be basically like basically another computer that can be hacking into other computers, and you're not even aware of it. All they have to do is they get a handle of your computer, and they're able then to transfer everything and get all their work. And then not even that, once I get into the network right through you, then I can get through the network and maybe get into the hospital, get into other ways, get into patient, get into students, get into financial aid, get into credit cards. You
Yes.
think that's happened before? It has.
Yeah, for sure.
And it happens everywhere in reputable places, right? That's how they do it. So what do they want to do is they just want to get into that network. And once they're into the network, it's like Snowden and everyone else. All they need to do is, hey, I just need to get what? The role, like a teaching assistant, to be able to make changes. I can enroll students into my class that have not even enrolled in this class. I can enroll a student, and I can now, if you're a student, I can then increase your role to teaching assistant. You now, as a teaching assistant, could enroll other students into that other section if you wanted. A lot of responsibilities. And what we need then is some kind of tracking mechanism, right, Kareem, to see who has been doing it. It's almost like the fingerprints, who was at my house. I have to go and look at who's been, fooling around with my lock. And a lot of times they don't have that. And especially it's hard when they're in Russia or they're in other places. Just so you guys know, this was interesting. I was in my class and I had a student from Hong Kong. And in the middle of his presentation, he was on his phone, looking at his phone. And how irritating it. You're in the middle of he was presenting. It wasn't not even me. It's a little bit irritating, when somebody's on their phone checking. He was presenting. Listen to this. He was presenting, picking up his phone, right? And I said, Chu, you're presenting. What are you looking at your phone? Oh, I'm just looking how much money I made. And I said, what? And he goes, at the time, he was doing some apps for Facebook, some stupid games and stuff. And he was telling me how much he was making, and it was thousands and thousands of dollars a month he was making on these silly games and things. So I said, okay, and he said, it's okay. So right near the end, and he was just graduating, he was from Hong Kong, and he was ready to go back. And all of a sudden, the week before, we had an attorney who was into cyber crime and things like that. And all of a sudden he comes and he says, Dr. Rush, I just got an email from Facebook. And he says, I got an email from Facebook that they said I violated their conditions of Facebook, and they have my exact Chinese name that he doesn't even use at the university, and that they basically has gotten in touch with the attorneys at the university. And then it basically, he was afraid he wasn't going to be able to go back to Hong Kong. Long story short is he ended up was able to go. We contacted that attorney that was there, and he goes, oh, he can, he can go, but he didn't even go back to his apartment. He went to someone else, but he was basically violating Facebook's terms and conditions. He was doing some things, and then he was using proxies and doing a lot of nefarious things on the network that really, because he didn't want to be traced and followed. He finally got traced and followed. But it was just interesting that you can see. And I said, does your mother know about this? Because I said, she's going to have, you have to go. And his answer was, yes. In the beginning, she was upset, but then she heard how much money I was making. He was making like $45,000 a month or something on these stupid games. And then anyway, so the idea is he was going through areas and proxies that he didn't belong. But what was interesting is all these hackers really like the university networks, because in some areas they're kind of open and you can do a lot of different things. Okay, so that was just an aside that we're talking about of roles. So let me share my screen. And now you can see why don't you have access to those users then, Kareem, on the regular one? Because you don't need to know. They don't want you basically changing anything. But if you could, you have in the other role, you can make those teaching assistants, you could downgrade them. You don't want to do that, but you could. You have a lot of control here because they really have set that up. So if I go to Wiley Adaptive here, you can see on Wiley Adaptive, you look at Introduction to Information Systems, you can see on this Information Systems the exact same thing, that I have a different view of you. We're opening the assignment view. It says that 11 people haven't completed their one. The due date is this Wednesday. So I know this, I can go into students. You don't have the need to know students. You can go into students and I can see then who has completed, who has not started. And these are the people that you can see within it. If you have some issues of not being able to start or something like that, stay with me afterwards and we'll work on this. So this is what I have access to. So I have access to that one. So I can do the policies. I can have the due dates here. The other part we talked about before is we have the Wiley's quizzes. So I'm in the edit mode. I'm going to be edit mode on. I can go to the next chapter, which will be Tech Guide 1 under hardware. I can edit the test options. Of course, Kareem, what? You're a student. You do not have this section of edit test options, but you would have it in the other way where you can edit. So you can see edit test options. This is in Tech Guide 1. I can open the test. I can make it available to students. I can make a new announcement. I can allow 2 attempts. I can display and I can say the due date will be on September 4th, right? And I know that September 4th, if I look at it, is next Wednesday because next Monday is a holiday. I can include it in the test score and I can submit. So on your end, Kareem, you should be able to see it on your end. Is that correct? Under Wiley Quizzes, you see the tech guide is available as well. Yeah. And then the same thing, if I see adaptive assignment, I should be able that you should see also Tech Guide 1. And under what's due section, I see what was due then for this Wednesday that most of you should, all of you should do by this Wednesday. And then I see what the assignment is for next week. Next week is Tech Guide 1, where we talk about hardware and we do the adaptive assignment and Wiley quizzes. Questions? Amelie, anything in the chat that I need to worry about? Nothing. Okay. Everybody's up to date here. So now is the idea under the assignments, besides the readings, which is straightforward, the next assignment, basically what I want to talk about is collaboration. The whole idea, what I see in the future of work, even the presence of work, is collaboration. We collaborate in teams physically in the classroom. But a number of you, right? You can get jobs where it's remote, or you can do a hybrid. They tell you come in once a week or twice a week. But now there are very few jobs in tech where they don't at least have you have part of the time working remotely and communicating remotely. So that's what I want for our first assignment. Our first assignment is an assignment where I'm talking about collaboration tools, and I talk about it as part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is to do it individually, and part 2 is to do it as a group. I will today randomly put you into groups. Later on, based on your own interest, you can get your own groups. But in the beginning, I like to have you do your own groups, and I'd like you to upload and have other people. Why do I call it the audit section? Is that you can audit other people's work. So Kareem, rather than doing it negative on the negative bound, where you can do things nefariously, Kareem, to do people damage, I see it in the positive side is, hey, I'd like to see what other people are doing to get inspired. Or I've done something really great. I'd like to share it with the group, or I'd like to get feedback from the group, or I'd like to get help from the group. You can work in a more collaborative environment. That's what I'm looking for. And for this class, just like I say, is I want each other to highlight and say, these are my strengths. For instance, on Wednesday, I've asked Anders to show some of the work he's looked at in terms of chatbots and voice assistants. And any of the others in the class, if you have something special that you think, hey, this is really good for the class to do, show it to us, and we're recording, and it can be part of your portfolio or even be part of your group project. So that's what I'm looking at. So if you look at the assignment instructions for assignment 1 of the advanced digital groups, is basically, you can think of the first assignment is the individual assignment, and the second one is the group assignment. The first assignment that you can think about is basically, I want you to mimic what I'm doing. What do? I do every day. Every time I meet you, Kareem, is what? I record to the cloud, and then I basically stream to YouTube. So what I'd like you to do is basically create a Google account, and you cannot use your account. They want your personal account, and it's going through it of basically the steps. This takes 24 hours to activate, and then we go into steps of live streaming to YouTube, to test it, to record locally, to record to the cloud, and that you will be able to do that. And then the second part of the assignment is meeting in your group and going through different features of Zoom. Make sure you go to the settings and make sure that your settings, that of course that you are going to be able to, some of this has been turned off by default anyways, to broadcast live to YouTube, set up it, start your group meeting, and in your group meeting, discovering a number of features with Zoom that I'm asking you to do, I want you to record it just as if you were doing a tutorial. I want each person in your group to participate, you teaching other groups, promoting people to co-host, setting up breakout rooms, figuring out how to do polls, how to do chat functions, how to do live transcription, how to do remote control. If somebody's having an issue, you can just use Zoom and get into their computer and help them, and live stream to YouTube, access, share, cloud recording, and then do the submission. I'd like it, this assignment will be due next Wednesday. And you say, well, I got a lot of time. The only problem is Monday is a holiday. So if you're having any issues, I'd like to hear about the issue, because there's always issues. We'd like to document those issues. So the most that you can even do with these assignments, I'd like you to gear it to try to do it for Wednesday, because even creating the Zoom, the YouTube account takes a lot of times 24 hours. They ask you to activate. A lot of times there are issues, since we don't have access to Google, to YouTube, they put in restrictions. So we don't know, it's beyond our control. So the main thing in this class is we always want to document also the issues we have. A lot of things that we can't resolve right away, but the one thing you can resolve right away is document your problems. Okay, any questions? So that's kind of the overall. So what I'd like is I want to end class a bit early today, but one of the things that I want to do is let me go into the audit area. So I'm going to go here and let me go to my courses again, and you can go to your courses again. Everybody go to your courses. And instead of your courses, what I want you to do is everybody should have then an audit section. So if you open up, really you should be thinking about it. My regular section is the area in which I take quizzes, I do any of the regular readings. The audit section is the area in which in my group or certain assignments, I will upload certain assignments. So you all see here, everybody see to the left, there's groups. And also notice there's something called groups and users here. I do not want you to use this group, but if I go to users and everybody can see that, you can all see now that everybody in the class, instead of being students, have been promoted to teaching assistants. For me to create this section, Kareem, I did not have authority. I had to go to an administrator of Blackboard to say, make me another section where all of my students are promoted to teaching assistants. They don't even allow me to just make up courses. You understand? Because they say, Dr. Rush, you really don't, your role is not to make up courses. You know what I mean? We design the courses, and then, you know, you can request, I want to teach this course or that course, or I can say, hey, I want to teach a new course on AI, but it has to go through certain procedures. I just can't on my own record and then just say to everybody, oh, instead of giving money to the university, just put it into my bank account, right? So I'm not able to, they want to have certain controls. So you can see here, everybody is a teaching assistant. So everybody has all the capabilities that I have. They also have all the restrictions that I have. So when anybody, let's say on Wednesday, Kareem, comes new to the class, you see up here, find users to enroll, and you could even browse. You could then, and it says find their username or their email. You could put their email, go. You could make them a student into this class because you're what, Kareem? A teaching assistant. And once they were a student in the class, then you could upgrade them to a teaching assistant. So if I go back to users, you see here, let me find you, Kareem. You see right here, change user's role. You see that, Kareem?
Yeah.
So you see that change user's role. Notice I could give you these roles, but as a teaching assistant, you can't make somebody an instructor. You understand? That's the only thing. And I could delete you or I could demote you. But as an instructor, you can't delete me. That's the only difference, right? And okay. Even though maybe students say, hey, that'd be a great idea. You cannot do that. The other things, if we go into the BT audit, everybody go in, what's important here is you'll see groups. And right now, groups are in the order of, I put myself and Daniel, who's my official teaching assistant, I have them in group 0. I may even put then later on, I may put my teaching assistants in training. I may put them in group 0 or give them group 0A. Right now, they're going to be in a regular group, and later on, they could even be in 2 groups, right? They can be in the regular group and all. But you see here, this is a folder. So basically what you do is you have build content, make a content folder, you give it a name, right? And then in this area, you will put all your group members in. You could track the number of viewers they have, and then you could submit. So what I want to do tonight, just in a short period of time, is I want to assign all my, do randomly groups in breakout rooms, have each person based on their room make a folder, put your names in it. And if you look under group 0 here, you have the group assignment of how it's supposed to be recorded and how you're supposed to upload. Right now, you can look at this as a sample. And in this case, this was a folder of the individual assignment. And if I go back here, I can see then this is the group assignment. So you have an individual assignment that you can work if you'd like. You can work as a group on your individual assignment, but each person has to do the work. And in the group assignment, you may meet together and you go through all these showcase, and you can see then under the instructions what you need to do. This is what it looks like. So how am I going to do the breakout rooms? I'm going to do the breakout rooms via my regular section. Let me stop sharing. I'm going to put randomly everyone into a great breakout room.
Really quick, I am not on the audit. I don't have it in my Blackboard.
Okay. All right, we'll work it out.
Professor, I
Okay.
don't either.
Okay, so put it in the chat. Stay with me afterwards. And then what do we have to do? Is add them. So in this case, who is supposed to be added in this case? We can even try it under is try who else needs to be. Amelie needs to be set up, and who else?
Me.
And
Emily.
Emily.
Yes.
That are not
I do.
there.
I do too, also.
And it's Camille. So what do we have to do? What do we need to do? We have to go to what? If I share my screen, what do I have to do? I have to go to my audit area. Go into what? And Andres, I'll give you the idea where you can start it. I go to users, and Kareem, can you do it too, Kareem? Could you
Yeah,
add somebody? You could add somebody, put your email in the chat, and let's see if they can do it. And basically, if I look at it, if I look at Amelie, your last name is what? With a K?
Yeah, Koski, Koski. There. Yeah.
Okay, are you even there?
Yeah.
You're even
I am.
there, so you should be there. You're listed, and who else is not there? So maybe you just didn't find it.
Okay,
In your
there's someone
Blackboard.
else, Camille. She is not
And what's the last name?
Acevedo.
AC. Yeah, because you're in Amelie.
Okay.
Kami is not,
and I don't
so
know-
basically we'll work with you, Kami, on
Yeah.
that.
I just tried to add Emily, but it said no users found
How did you do it?
by her email.
Amelie.
EED128.
Right,
No,
but
Emily.
Amelie's in there.
No, Emily. Yeah.
Emily for what last name? Oh, Emily Boyes. So let's
Gotcha.
see, are you there?
Uh,
Here, you are there, Emily.
I know it says I am on your Zoom thing, but when I look, I don't know, maybe I just needed to refresh my Blackboard.
Refresh in the very beginning and see if you have those as a course.
Yeah, I will right now.
Yeah, because you're listed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll log on to my Blackboard again and
Yeah,
let
log on to your Blackboard again and see it. Okay, so let's try it.
I'm on.
Okay, perfect. So now see how we have to work together? We got to go systematically. Perfect. And I'm glad that and you see how everybody's helping each other. So now what I want to do is I stop sharing. And I've made my two co-hosts, Amelie and Andres, right? So in this case, what I want to do is I'll then do 9 groups. Let's see here. So I'm going to go to my breakout rooms. I want to assign 9. But I'm not going to include my co-hosts. So my co-hosts, Amelie and Andres, will then go to each of the groups and we'll see what it is. So stay with me there. I'm going to create. And now you should see, I'm going to open all my rooms. And Amelie and Anders is in my unassigned. And find your name and join a room and remember what room number you are. And the first assignment is to do the folders. Put everybody's name in. What?
Camille's still not in the audit one.
Which one?
The audit.
Camille? Okay, so
Yeah.
we need to register her. So how do we go about doing it? Camille, stay with me. Okay. And then, so basically, let me share my screen so you guys can know how to do it, right? Share my screen. I need to be in my audit. And I need on the top here, you see where find users to enroll? And on my find users to enroll, then let's do it this way. Hold on, let me just move this a bit. I want find user, I want to go to browse. Let's use your email. What's your email?
CAA
CAA
249
249
at miami.edu.
at miami.edu. And let's see, go and let's see if we find you. We did. I'm showing you guys too, right? Because then you can show others, right? I'm showing yours, and what am I going to do? Status, submit. And then we have it here. Enrollment. Let me just move this a bit. And let's see if I can submit. And we see you. And now you're a student. Now what do I want to do? Change your user role to what? Teaching assistant. Submit. And that's it. How did that work out? Yes, no?
Yeah, it worked.
Perfect. Okay, and Ali, what's up?
Well,
Did
no
you-
one was talking in my group, so I just left.
What do you mean no one's talking?
No one was talking in my group, so I left.
What do you mean they're not talking?
I don't
Did
know.
you join the group? Are you in group 1?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
What do you mean? Oh, I just didn't know.
What do you mean no one's talking? So you need to set up a folder and set up your group and set up times to meet. What
Okay.
is the issue?
Okay.
So you start talking.
Okay.
You take the lead.
Okay.
And then really quick, sorry, I was dealing
Yeah.
with the audit stuff. So you want Anders and I to just go through the
You
different,
starting, Amelie, you start in room 1.
perfect.
Anders, you start in group 10, join each of those groups and make sure that everybody has their folder. They
Okay.
have
Yeah.
all their information done. And then you can even gear them in the way that they explain to them that they have to set up a time to meet, and you can answer their questions.
Perfect, okay,
And then we'll meet back, in about another 10 minutes, we'll come back and we'll take roll and so forth, just to see that everybody understands what's happening. Sometimes people are, thinking about something else
yeah.
and
Yeah.
they have no idea what's going on. You know what I mean? It's always surprising to me. It's like,
Yeah.
where
So
you
just
think
a
it's
quick
not as
recap, they need to make the folders and
They
then set
need
up
to
time to
make the
meet.
folders just like the first one where it says
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
If they're in room 1, they should be group 1, right? Group 2.
Yeah.
They should have all their names, their emails, their phone numbers. They should be able to then think about, you can talk about, you've done the assignment, right? The first assignment, right? That,
Yeah.
Cool, okay. I'm
and
going
just
to
give
try
them
and-
an overview of
Yeah.
what they need to do, and then just make sure they're on the roll, and then just go to room 2, 3, and 4, and make sure that they know that they just don't hang out and say, I don't know what I'm doing, and make sure
Yeah.
that they already are going to do it for Wednesday. Start doing it already Wednesday, because then it's going to be too late. You need to have 24 hours to do the Zoom and to do the YouTube and so forth. So just kind of answer their questions, and I'll come in as well.
Yeah,
Awesome.
sounds good.
Thanks.
That's being teaching assistants in training.
Yes.
You're starting your own, and you'll see what it takes and see how, as students, you may be able to do approach them differently than I do and get them going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Peer to peer. Okay, and I'll start in the middle. You start on the ends, and I'll start in 5. Okay,
Okay.
Perfect, okay, see you.
and then I'll call you all back in like 10 minutes
Sounds
or
good.
less, and then we'll talk, Andres, about what else, about what you did.
You're
What's
muted.
up, guys? We got it?
Yeah.
You have everything? So
Mhm.
what, the only thing I want to let you know is, let's set up something early that you can do it so you can have most of the assignment done for Wednesday or get a good feel of it, because the following Monday, we don't have class. And it's Labor Day weekend. And also I'm not able to give you feedback. If you already have most of it done for Wednesday, then I can give you feedback. So what I suggest you do is either meet tonight or meet tomorrow, because you need, even on there's two parts. There's the individual part and then there's the group part. Even in the individual part, you can work together. Each of you do your own, but you can help each other. You got it?
Mhm.
And you basically want to be able to that, hey, I know that Zoom inside out, I can broadcast live, I can do polls, I can do remote helping. I know the difference between recording to the cloud, recording to the computer, and basically make your recordings as like a tutorial. You present it professionally, you could even give it and teach other people. Got it? So I'm going to close the rooms now. We'll discuss it. We'll take attendance and then I'll answer any questions. You can stay with me afterwards, okay? All right, so I'm going to close all rooms. And then let me share screen. Let me go to my audit. Let me go to my groups. And when I look at my groups, this should be in order, right? Where's my 3 and 4? Where's group 3 and 4? Who is in group 3 and 4?
We're making one right now.
Okay. So make sure that everybody is together. And what about Isabel? She wasn't here or what? In group 5?
No, I'm here. I'm doing it right now.
Okay. And does everybody have edits? Even if you were in another group, could you edit group 5? Yes, everybody could edit, right? And you can see it. And then Sophia and Maria Vargas, what's going on here? We don't need to even do that, right? So we have it. And what's the purpose of this? The purpose then everybody then can see everyone. And guess what, Ali? If you're basically you're in group 1, now do you have everybody's email? You need everybody's phone. In group 2, I don't have phone numbers, so people can text you. So group 2, you need to put in their phone numbers, right? In group 7 as well, you need to put in your phone. Group 9. And let's make it not as a dash at miami.edu, make it that we have the tabs correctly. If you're going to do it, make it the tab so we could even have a program do this. So all of this should be done, right? So if I'm going to be looking at it, and it should be in the right order, right? And if I go into groups, right, I got 1, 2, I don't know where what happened to my 3 and 4? Who is 3 and 4? So I need groups 3 and 4 here in doing it. If you 3 and 4, if you haven't done it, we need to do it now.
I keep putting in my email and phone number and pressing submit, and it keeps not showing up.
Where?
In group 6, sorry, Sophia.
In group 6, I don't know what you're doing. For Sophia, who is
Yeah,
doing
I press the down arrow, then press edit, and then put it in, and
it?
then
Just I go edit here, right? And I do my group here, right? And I look here and I just you put an arrow here, put in your email, put in
That's what I've
your
been
phone,
doing.
and then submit.
That's what I keep doing that, and it keeps
Okay, we'll try again. Just put it in right here and then click on the submit. And if we have issues, stay with me. We'll fix it. 3 and 4 I need. Okay, questions? So in 3 and 4, let me stop sharing. I need to be where? I need to share then where? I need to share in my screen. I need to share attendances in the audit area or the regular area, Franco? Want to repeat the question? Franco?
The regular area?
Regular area, right? The regular area, because I'm in charge of attendance, right? Because if it were attendance in the audit area, everybody could say, hey, you know what? I attended only 50%, but I can edit it and I can audit myself, right? Need to know, need to have permission, right? So I'm going to do attendance. I'm going to do check-in. I'm going to start check-in. I got a number 7804. If your groups 3 and 4, stay with me. If you have other questions, other issues, my teaching, my in-training teaching assistants, stay with me. And on Wednesday, we'll continue. What I suggest to do is go through the assignments, look at the samples, look at the assignment instructions, and we'll continue on Wednesdays to continue.
Thank you, Professor.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Professor.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night,
Now
Professor.
you
Thank
see.
you. Have a good one.
Have
Yeah,
a good
you too.
night. Thank you.
Group 3 and 4.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome.
We're trying to do our group and we
Yeah.
create already, but I don't know how to put it for you can see it.
What do you mean and how I can see it? I'm going to stop. You have the number 7804. I'm going to stop sharing. You share your screen with me.
Gabby, I created like a new one. So like we had to create like a file. So what we
No,
need to
to
do.
create a content, not a file, a content folder, not a file.
Right. That's what I did. So basically all
It's
the people in
there?
my group just need to go. Yeah, it's there already. They just need to go and put their email in now on the file.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
You should see group 3 now too. Up there.
Okay. It's there and
all
it's
filled
in
out.
proper format.
Yeah.
Share your screen, Nathan.
All right, one sec.
For group 4, it wasn't allowing me to add my email and phone number like under the content.
There, you see?
Hold on. Group 3. Okay, it looks great. It looks the NAB, Miami, looks great to me. Okay, in group 4, we need to edit, right? So who's in group 4 here? I see. Okay, so come in, go ahead and share. So Nathan, it looks good. And now what you need to do, Nathan, is with your group. Now you have everybody's number, you have everybody's email, right? And now you need to
Yeah.
get in touch with them and say, hey, let's get together and let's do it tonight or let's do it tomorrow because it's already going to be, you need 24 hours just to do the Zoom and to do the YouTube channel. And you can help each other. That's the beauty. Everybody has to do, and the individual assignment has to do their work, but I'm not saying you can't get help from others. And then you need to, and you can look at the samples. Okay, Camille, share your screen. Okay, now go to the audit. We're sharing. Okay, great. So now we need Franco in there, and then you just submit. So what's the issue? I think you got it, right?
Yeah, no, I figured it out. I was just waiting
right.
for
Figure
them to
it
go.
out, right? You're group 4, right? And you're with it. It's no big
Yeah.
shakes once you know how to do it, right? It's not
Yeah,
something.
I just need, I guess, their email, or they can go in and edit it and put their emails also and their phone numbers.
Or you know what? I wouldn't even waste it. You have that information, right? Don't you have you have their emails? I get their emails and then you have their phone numbers?
I don't know. I think
So,
they just need to go in and put it in
Well,
themselves.
how are you gonna get in touch with them?
Did they leave the Zoom already?
We're
I
here.
don't know.
Just added my email and phone number.
Okay, so you can put it in the chat or whatever, you know what I mean? So you guys can do it. Don't wait for everybody, you know what happens, Camille, if you wait for everybody to do it, then it'll be an incomplete job, and then even when you tell them, if you can take the lead, Camille, already, let's finish it off. It's not a big deal getting people's email and phone, and then that way you can text them, or then you can set up a group together that you can speak and set up a WhatsApp or whatever, however you're going to be chatting, a Slack or a Teams or whatever, and then you can start doing some work. Okay, Anna, you have a question for me? Ava, do you have a question?
No, I was just in group 3, so I was.
Okay, so everybody's doing it. And Louisa, what's up?
Oh no, I was just in group 3 as well.
Okay, good. So we
Can
got
I-
the group
Can
thing.
I ask my group something? Do you guys want like a group chat on iMessage or WhatsApp?
iMessage.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
great.
works.
Okay. Do you want me
Okay.
to create it or?
Yeah, that'll be
Okay.
good.
Do it.
Okay,
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Bye, Professor. Thank you so much.
bye. So let's get going. Good. Hopefully we'll be first in the next things you do. You know what I mean? Just once you get a hold of it. Okay, Franco, what's up? Franco, Nathan, and you guys finished?
It says like I did it, but it's not showing up on my screen.
Okay, you guys can figure it out. I'm going to
show up
stop
on my screen.
recording.
I
Right?
clicked it, but I don't know, like I can't see it. Like it didn't change for me.
But
Okay.
it changed for me. Like now I can see your email
You have
and
to refresh,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Professor, thank you.
Thank you. We're getting it there. And Camille, go ahead and take the lead, right? Don't be shy. Right? It's a part. If we wait for everybody else to finish, guess what? We won't finish. You know what I mean? We have limited time frames, you know what I mean? So you want to make sure that everything gets done. You wait, I'll let them put it in, There'll be a week till they put it in. We don't got time for that, right? If stuff that you can do your own, you do it. And then and other people, stuff they can do, they do it. And everybody, you show how basically you take the lead and show how you need to work efficiently. You give a leader basically sets the standard.
Okay,
Got
thank
it?
you.
Pleasure. Franco, what's up? What do you need from
Nothing.
us?
I still
Nothing. You what?
I submitted it already.
Okay, good. Perfect. So we'll see you on Wednesday. Get with your group and we can proceed.
All right. Thank you.
Ciao. Okay. So what do we learn from this exercise? Let me just shut down YouTube.